Gematria is pretty lovely and pretty great if you think about it. But Gematria by itself, you can end up at a dead end. And what this dead end is missing is obviously a pathway that leads to the right direction. So, how do we get out of this dead end? And how do we get out of the dead end? Let me fully break down the storyline for this year, which is still going to be passing of the torch, but it's just the team that's going to be in the Super Bowl instead of the quarterback with the experience. So, what do I mean? Is basic numerology reducing to single digits. You can derive a value with two or three digits, but ultimately that one digit is going to say the most about the number. So, how about this? Let's start off with 2018 World Cup and what basic numerology was used. Well, one of the best things is that the year tells a lot about the season. Is that 2018? I want you to notice this adds up to 11. Now, the 11 didn't tell the whole story. Lionel Messi, 11 letters, whatnot. He's got a lot of 11 with this name. I think in Gematria, let's see, Leon, I think it goes 11. It doesn't. Okay. Well, anyways, let's see. Maybe Messiah that equals 11, or it is Jesus. That's what Lionel Messi is going to represent. It's Jesus that equals 11 in Gematria. But I want you to notice that 11 reduces to 2. And that's why France won the World Cup. Won their second World Cup title. It's all because of, once again, basic numerology. So number one is basic numerology. Starting this process here, I want you sort of you break down the first parts of the script with basic numerology and what can happen. Then number two, you can start playing around with Gematria, Dash, astrology, depending on which method that you prefer the most. So that's basic numerology. The most tricky thing is, seasons that intercross years. So, like this year, luck, 3 light path, and 2019, of course, adds up to 12, and 1 plus 2 adds up to 3. Now, third Super Bowl, not quite there. The reading was just a little bit off. So really what that's representing is the start of the 2019 season. That's what the 3 numerology has to do with it. So all this 3 stuff with Andrew Luck and the Colts was not revolving around the year of the Super Bowl, but rather the start of the season. The start of the season, I think, is what works perfectly for the NFL. So righteous 57 years, start of next year. You turn 57 this year, but it'll be 57 at the start of next year. These intercrossing seasons is just really tricky. And when you take a year like 2019 being a 3-year, well, Dodgers, 3rd consecutive World Series appearance in a 3-year. The 3rd time is the charm. So before Gematria, basic numerology, you cannot go wrong with that. And so how can I use basic numerology to predict some of the future events? Well, the basic numerology for the year is not always going to line up perfectly. And take, let's see, 2000 22, for instance, in the World Cup. Doesn't mean Argentina is going to win its third World Cup final. It's not lined up perfectly in the 3 year. It's not really going to work like that every single time. But what that's really all about, for instance, when you take a year numerology, when an event's going to be hosted or when a season's going to begin, is that is a 6 year. Argentina's sixth final appearance, and that's really what that's all about. And that really makes sense when you can break down the year numerology. So let's go with 2026 World Cup and see what story that talks about. Well, singularly, the single digit is 6. So there you go. Ignoring the 2020 part, ends in a 6. So you can sort of break that down in that regard. So the 6 at the end, the year 6 of the 20 decade. And Brazil's had 7 appearances in the World Cup final, I believe. So let's see. You could just even take the final 2 digits as well. That's what the basic numerology is going along. Is that you can take. It doesn't have to be the full 4 digits. It could be the 26 World Cup, and this breaks down to 8. And I'm going to go to Wikipedia very quickly. Those World Cup finals and see what that's going to really give us. France winning in a 2 year, the second World Cup title. I think Brazil is at 5-2. Indeed, they have 7 appearances. So Brazil's 8th appearance in the final. They're not going to make it in the next World Cup. It's sort of Messi's time, and then it's Brazil right afterwards. If you want to talk about France and what happened in 1998, France, 2002, it's not going to line up perfectly. This is not what it's going to be. You're going to lead yourself in a trap if you sort of go like this, if you go 2018. But what this is really about, and what Messi is that let's see, that's 2022. Let's see, 2022. Let's see, wait, let me just see here. Let me type this in here. It's 2018. That's France, and then 2022. That is South America. That's just South America. So does it necessarily mean Brazil? France, South America, Brazil, France, South America. Not supposed to be this easy. It's just South America. It's just South America. You can use this year numerology with 2030. And 2030 is probably when we're going to see Dona Roba. This is a 5 year. That's 5 year. World Cup. Can't go wrong with Italy. Germany. I'm really happy to do more basic numerology. Now, I've said before the year that this was going to be the passing of the torch. So Kansas City, you can't go wrong. You have the New Orleans Saints, and you have the Jesuit connection. Now, the Pope's bishops are the College of Cardinals. They wear a shade of red. So that's what I see with Kansas City. Now, what they're probably going to do, Andy Reid and the Chiefs are going to win later on. I've got the Chiefs over LA in 5 years from now, actually. Philadelphia in the 13 colonies, so 13 full seasons would pass between Super Bowl 39 and Super Bowl 53. So that's 40, that's the 10, and then that's the 2. So that's 13 full Super Bowls that would pass between Andy Reid's last appearance and his next one. And his next one, let's see, Jacksonville. 2004 Super Bowl, Jacksonville. Pats lost they beat the Jags in the last AFC title game. I'm busy with the job interviews, but I'm doing this live video thing without preparing the videos and whatnot beforehand and all of this. So this week I've got some of this stuff going on probably Saturday. So the whole preview for the conference title game is going to be later this week. But if you just stick with the main storyline, if you stick with the main narrative, which is the passing of the torch, you can't go wrong. Patriots are an underdog. However, playing on the road has to deal with that. I just look at them as a favorite. And I just look at the easy thing is to say, LA and New England, or Breeze against Brady. Old guard and new guard. A lot lines up with Andy Reid in Kansas City. Also in 2019, 3-year, Andy Reid beats Belichick and the third time around. I think he lost in New England twice in the playoffs. Third time's the charm, and he doesn't have to travel to Foxborough, but 53, equaling 8. Bucks 8th straight win. All right. So it's number 8 in the Zodiac. So I'm saying Brady retires with 8 Super Bowl appearances. That's what I'm going with. I'm going with that Chinese Zodiac here. And I think more people would follow the NFL if they end the Patriot dynasty. Chargers played unbelievable soft coverage this past week. It was such a joke. They didn't try to go hard in the paint at all, try to press New England and all. It was sort of a joke. And the Colts are purposely missing tackles and whatnot. Something looked really fishy. Eric Ebron's first drop. So that fix was in Indy 13 years later, if you can get my drift. Lucky number, the unlucky number. So, yeah, I think I was on the wrong side of the Chinese Zodiac. 2019, maybe a pig year, but this is still a dog. But maybe luck wins right on the pig year. Once we enter the pig is when this is all gonna really. It's all gonna line up better, and it's all lining up with the passing of the torch. But Kansas City, bubble, we can figure that part out, and then Super Bowl 55. Well, you can't go with the obvious home field and all. So John Gruden returns back to Raymond James. What if John Gruden makes the next Super Bowl after the one played at Raymond James? So interpretation is everything. It really doesn't mean that Gruden's going to be playing in Super Bowl 55. So I think you'll be easily misled if, Tampa Bay, John Gruden, Raiders are in the. And what I've had with 57 is that Okay, Andy Reid doesn't make it to Super Bowl 56 at his hometown of Los Angeles, but Andy Reid would be playing in the next one, you know, after the prior one that was hosted at his hometown of Los Angeles. So the moral of the story is that how you interpret the numbers means everything. And your numbers can be slightly misaligned. And that's really the one thing that's separating perfection from being super close. Now, basic numerology works with Chinese zodiac. Study the Chinese zodiac. Who's going to be the key player out there? Who's going to be the guy that's going to lead the way? See what zodiac he is. See if it lines up with the year numerology. I don't think you can go wrong if you try that. Portugal's manager, Santos, winner of the 2016 Euros, I think he was a horse. And it's a horse that is number 7 in order of the Chinese zodiac. Keep on doing my thing. That's all I can say. I'll quit. It doesn't look like I'm going to be quitting anytime soon. Number one, if you keep asking me to quit, I'm not going to quit. You're just making me more likely to stay and keep on doing this if you tell me to quit. So you're not really that bright if you can't really see that. And number 2, once again, I'm here because I'm going to be right when I show that everything's going to be lined up perfectly for Indianapolis and Argentina. And of course, we just have to see the Super Bowls in between 56 and 57 and see what lines up for 55 because there's no guarantee that Arizona is going to make it. And if Kansas City makes the Super Bowl, then I can see Ben Roethlisberger making one last run potentially for Super Bowl 55. And you know how the NFL is, if they like to mix up their teams in the Super Bowls from time to time. So that's really, you have to keep a track of the trends and how often teams make it to Super Bowls and all of that, and just study the past in order to correctly predict the future. Yes, they do use the zodiac. They use it all the way. That game was rigged, buddy. Oh yeah, that was rigged. That was completely scripted. Let's see what else was rigged today. What was the other rigged game that a team was up 2-0 or whatnot? I don't know. I've no idea. But scripted matchups always happen by the numbers. And this video is mostly about starting off with basic numerology. And you can't go wrong with the birthday if it lines up directly with, that's another thing too with this whole Rams Patriots thing. Yeah, Girona, that match. That one was scripted too. That was a scripted. What was it, 2-0 and 2-2 and all this crap? I mean, Atletico does not give up goals like this. Is a complete joke. It's a complete joke. But what was rigged too was, well, Ronaldo was onside, but that was a penalty that Milan should have had. Juventus get away with a lot of calls. I mean, that seems like, Masonic, 33 and whatnot. Both teams. Point differentials or their combined wins, Liverpool and City were 33 after the Manchester City 2-1 victory. And they rigged the games all throughout the world. All throughout the world, in any major professional sport that is televised is bound to be scripted. Anything that makes it to TV. So like college baseball, scripted games, they're not on TV that much, but college baseball playoffs, scripted. And I got a couple minutes here. I think Colts go 12-4 next year. They finish 12-4. They finished 12-4 because that lines up with Andrew Luck's number 12, and I think that, let's see, they would enter the playoffs with 23 wins, and then win number 26 would come in ever since his comeback from injury for Andrew Luck, and I think that'd be super significant. Gruden Bowl, not quite, but I'm going with the Washington Redskins next year, and then LA, their time's going to come, but it'll be a lot like the Philadelphia Eagles. And Super Bowl 56 is going to sort of bump things up a little bit. We'll probably see a fake injury or whatnot for, he's going to be impeached, Really, the whole Blue Wave riddle, even though they didn't win the championship, they stormed back to make the playoffs. So we got the Colts could win the Super Bowl in the year that Michael Pence is in office. That's really the main thing. You see, the Colts had to win, it looks like, until Michael Pence gets in office. The whole 53 prior Super Bowls and the whole interpreting the data right is a really big thing to look out for, because you can never be totally sure. But he is going to be history. If you still support him, you're not on the right side of history. He's a proxy. He's a setup. They know the guy's got troubles, and he's in there to purposely destabilize America. And Donald would not have done it without Americans helping out his campaign. So he's not only a traitor, but the deep state are the big traitors. And it's all geopolitics in action, destabilize Europe, and Putin likes a greater Slavic state. And you're out of your fucking mind if you think we can be friends with Vlad, okay? Some of y'all are like, oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, be friends with Russia. Oh, Obama was weak on Russia. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, the Cold War's not over. Yeah. Well, Mitt is right, because Obama is a diplomat. He's a two-light path. Obama, the two-light path, the diplomat. It's great that we're making friends with more people than not, but it does come with its flaws. In fact, you can't be friends with everybody. And that includes Russia. And that may include Cuba, depending on who's running the regime over there. So that's the thing with a guy like Obama. And that's what Mitt Romney said about the Cold War not being over, right? Reagan tore down the wall. Trump wants to build a wall. So you could, God, he wants to build a wall and all. You can't see that. It's like the communists in Russia that want to build a wall. And you see what kind of symbolic stuff that's happening right now. That's exactly it. So for basic numerology, I'm going to look at, the date that the season starts. I'm going to look at the birthdays of the players, see if there's more to this basic numerology stuff. And you cannot go wrong with starting off with basic numerology. And then once you get done with the basic numerology, to kick off the research, and then you can go down to the Gematria and you can advance to the astrology. But always start with basic numerology, and you can't go wrong. And be careful with the NBA and the NHL and the NFL. When the 2 years intercross, it makes it tricky. That's why baseball, it's great that it ends in 1 year. It's something to look out for. But I think the start of the season says more than the year of the NBA Finals. But that's the thing with the dog year, was that with Gary, the numbers guys, that the Rockets didn't win the dog year. They didn't win the finals in the dog year. However, the start of this year, right, what I said, the beginning, the prior start of this year in dog year. So that's really the whole thing with everyone in the Rocket, or everyone in the Rockets last year. So didn't happen in the dog year win the NBA Finals, but it just means that they win it in the season that begins in the dog year. So these are the kind of things that you have to really look out for in the future. And once again, I'm busy with job applications. I got an interview next Monday. I've got one tomorrow. I'm gonna be receiving even more phone calls too. So I'm still gonna be here in the weekend, and anytime that I get done with work, I'll be doing numerology on the side because I still like doing this. But it's time to move to bigger and better things. So thank you for watching. I hope this helps, and I'll be back for more in the way Lonzo Ball plays and whatnot, the way that Brandon Ingram can't be counted on, then DeMarcus Cousins may not be enough. So Anthony Davis with a very hard look into, because all the signs with the media and first take and whatnot said he's on his way out, and it's just all double speak. Oh, I want to stay in New Orleans. I don't think so, and it'd be very wise for Anthony Davis to move on. And it seems like LA is the perfect fit to make this happen. So that's definitely worth a look. And LeBron needs a big man, so Boogie Cousins and Anthony Davis. Can we see the new Bynum, Paul Gasol? Yeah, that's something to look in for. That's something to look into as well. But of course, if they're going to trade him, who'd the Lakers trade away? Not Kyle Kuzma. Lonzo Ball, they could trade away. He could trade away. He's a great passer, but he does kind of things that LeBron James does. If they like the passing, they think they can fix his jump shot, then they can keep Lonzo, and Brandon Ingram's been, on and off, so they might end up trading Brandon Ingram, but that's definitely worth a look into. Sort of went a little bit long. I got to get ready for my interview tomorrow, and I got, I'll let you know how that goes to my new job. So yeah, I'm out of here. See you guys later. Thank you for watching.